Welcome back to my kitchen. And every once in a while, the sun and the moon and the stars are perfectly aligned and everything comes together for just the cacophony of great flavor, great taste, and great fun. And that day is today. And why is it today? Well, number one, we're gonna make that amazing tomato sauce that all of you have heard so much about. But what makes it uber special is we have a celebrity rock star guest with us today, my beloved, my one and only, my amazing Leo.
Oh, thank you so much. Champagne.
Hey, baby, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You are so, yeah, you're right.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so you ready to bust out some
I'm
tomato
ready to bust
sauce?
it out. Today we're going to do a tomato sauce. John Christophe Novelli's grandmother's favorite tomato sauce.
Right.
I don't remember her name. Do you remember her name?
I totally remember. It's like seared on my ass and a tattoo. Louise.
Louise,
Whoop, whoop.
Grandma Louise.
Shout out, Louise.
What's
but
up?
You know, one thing that I think people might not always know, and we can start busting out these tomatoes, is that actually two things. One, never refrigerate your tomato, right?
Right.
See, Leo knows that because he's like professional.
Tomatoes are made to be outside.
They're made to be outside, and that's a good thing to remember.
Number two, you don't always have to have the best tomatoes. So if you have some old tomatoes that's just been sitting there for like 1 or 2 days,
Yeah. Like, look at
not
that
so
one.
pretty,
Yeah.
sugar builds up in the tomatoes. So it gets sweeter and sweeter.
Just like you.
Oh. Alright, so it's important to have your tomatoes in a hot pan. So what we're going to do is turn the tomatoes upside down in the hot pan. Searing hot pan. What this is going to do is going to cook the tomatoes. All the juice is going to come down into the pan.
Oh, perfect, my angel. You added all of them because that's like another fallacy.
Yeah.
That people think they can only layer at the bottom of the pan. That's not true. You can
Add it all.
stack them. Add them all. Go big. Go
Yeah.
big or go home, right?
So basically, to start with, all we're going to do is add a little bit of salt and pepper. And that's all we're going to start it with. And then we're going to put a lid on it. And that's it.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to, as I love to say, put a lid on it.
Put a lid on it.
Put a lid on it. And what you're doing is you're steaming the tomatoes and letting the juices kind of come to the forefront.
So a key element to our tomato sauce today, we're going to use fresh herbs, some fresh spices. We're going to use some fresh oregano, some fresh rosemary, and some thyme. We're going to use some garlic and olive oil. Basic, simple, quick, and easy ingredients. One thing we like to use is fresh tomatoes.
Oh, Leo, I didn't get fresh oregano. Is that okay?
That's perfectly fine.
See?
Whatever you have. If you have
Okay.
fresh basil, fresh thyme,
Right.
whatever, it's great. But if you have dried spices, absolutely amazing.
See, and that's the point. It doesn't, I mean,
It doesn't matter.
the best case scenario is you want the freshest of fresh, but improvise. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Everyone's too afraid these days to cook. They think if they don't cook like Tom Colicchio, they can't bust it out.
Right.
That's not true. Get it out of the cupboard.
Dry
Go
spices
to your
work.
neighbor. Dry spices work. And what Leo is doing right now is he is cutting raw produce, because one of the super cool things about this particular tomato sauce is at the end you can introduce some raw produce into it, and what that does is it makes it much more rustic and
beautiful.
beautiful. Yeah,
It just looks better
yeah,
to
it
have
looks
like
better.
some raw cherry tomatoes in at the end.
Right.
It's a tomato sauce, so what better to make it look better but raw tomatoes?
Yeah.
So now we're going to check out our tomatoes. Tomatoes have been searing and bubbling and boiling. We're going to smash these up.
Okay, this reminds me a little bit when I was traveling in Italy about going to the restaurantes, and I know you lived in
Yeah,
Italy
I lived
for
in
a few
Italy
years.
for like
I
2
mean,
years.
is this like totally
It's
speaking to that
amazing.
for
It's
you?
just like,
Yeah, you smell it and you see it. I mean, you can go in these little restaurantes. They're so cool and they're so rustic and they're so friendly. They'll invite you into the back door of it, and that is very cool.
so what we're going to do is, fresh tomatoes have a lot of acidity. So to neutralize acidity, we're going to add a little bit of sugar. And sugar's alright, you know. If you add too much sugar at the end, you add a little balsamic, and that gets rid of the sweetness if there is too much. And throw some fresh herbs, some thyme, some rosemary. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to cover it up, let it cook for about 20 minutes.
Whoop whoop.
Let
Did
it
you put
reduce.
my oregano in?
I didn't.
And you are so like sparing.
Work it out.
I know, because you know what I do? Okay, this shows the difference, and everybody cooks their own style, their own way, and neither way is wrong. It's all good. And I try to kind of peel some of them off, and then I still throw the whole thing in, but I try to peel it off a little bit.
Get all that flavor in there.
Get all the flavor in there. I think, Leo, my love, we need to taste it again and see how our salt and pepper are going.
All right.
And then we're simply going to let it cook down. And this is about stirring it, cooking it down, reducing it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You taste first. Okay.
It's very good.
All right.
May need a little more salt.
Okay, so here's the deal. It's as simple can be. You take tomatoes. It doesn't matter if they're a little old. You just don't want them to be too firm. Cut them in half. Sear them in a hot pan. Put a lid on it. Smash them up when they start breaking up a little bit. Add salt, add pepper, add spices, a little bit of sugar. Taste, taste, taste. Stir, stir, stir. At the end, you're going to pour some, well, actually what I do is at the end, I smash my garlic, throw my garlic in, pour a little bit of red wine vinegar because I like that taste. I like that tartness. If you don't worry about it. Mix it together. If you have fresh basil, stir it in then. If you don't worry about it. Cover the top with olive oil, put a lid on, and set it aside and let it infuse. It's just that easy. Okay, now we're ready to introduce the garlic. And this is the part that I love. And what I never understood before is you don't have to chop garlic up. You don't have to let it cook the whole time. You can add it at the very end and you just smash it. Now, I'm not like a big, strong guy, so I smash it with a knife. You just take it, boom, boom, boom. That's it. Seriously, that's it. You throw it in here. Look at this. Look at how this is reduced down to the point where as you pull the spatula around, it pulls everything with it.
Cool. Now we have some fresh tomatoes. We're just going to throw it there for some color and deliciousness.
And
Sauce
just
it.
makes it rustic, and
Oh
it's
my
just
God.
raw product.
Look at that.
And we so keep it real.
Keeping it real and rustic.
And rustic because it's easy. And yet again, that's what Leo and I are all about. Elegant taste, simple methods. Elegance and simplicity. They do go hand in hand. You don't have to overdo it. So, here we are to clue you in on one of the many uses of this amazing tomato sauce. So first I'm going to have Leo put a little bit of
goat cheese
on a toasted baguette slice.
We're going to do some toasted goat cheese. So simple. What you can do is add a little bit of olive oil to your goat cheese just to loosen it up.
Okay.
We're going to throw some tomato sauce on there afterwards, and then a little bit of provolone, and we're going to throw a blowtorch to it. Look at that. That's amazing.
Isn't that pretty?
Smells
Look at how
so
it
good.
looks like. Okay, you do some. Because I'm really probably not supposed to have a torch
Smells
as long
so
as I just
good.
had.
It caramelizes on top.
It caramelizes on top.
Mmm. Mmm.
All right, one more to go. And then I know we have a horde of hungry people dying for these.
All gooey and ooey.
Gooey.
Oh, I can't wait to eat this.
Me too. Look at all you do. That's all
You
you
throw whatever you want on
do.
there, and it turns out absolutely amazing.
So beautiful because, you know, cooking should be easy. It should be fun. You should be able to entertain your friends, have them watch you, and have a good time doing it,
And
right?
express your artistic nature.
That's right.
Totally. High five. Yeah.
And remember, I'm Suzanne,
And I'm Leo.
and Gloriosity is a lifestyle choice. Make it.
Make it.